Hello, welcome to our last video in our Sketching Parent Function series. This is our 7th video on the logarithmic function, y equals log base some number of x. In this case, we're just going to graph y equals log base 2 of x. Now in the last video we talked a little bit about domain and range, and it's important we bring that up here now. You cannot take a logarithm of a negative number. 2 raised to any number will never be negative. You can raise 2 to anything you want, it's never going to be negative. As long as your base is positive, you can never take a logarithm of a negative. So actually our domain is going to be entirely x is greater than 0. So let's make a table of values. And let's, again, plug in some values that make sense. Again, the way logarithms work is 2 raised to some number equals our value x. In fact, it would be 2 raised to the y equals x. So let's pick some nice values of x where we know there are simply powers of 2. Well, one is 1. Anything raised to the 0 power is 1. So y would have to be 0. Another one is the number 2. X can be 2 if y were 1. 2 to the first power is 2. And we could pick other values, say 4 and 8. 4 is 2 squared, so 2 raised to the second power. 8 is 2 cubed. So let's plug in these numbers and see what the graph looks like. On the x value, 1, 0, 2, 1, 4, 2, and lastly 8, 3. And so we see that we're going to get this very nice curve that's heading downward. And again, the graph will never go into x equal its negative values. But remember in the last video, we talked about fractional values. What if we had negative values of y? Specifically, if we raise 2 to a negative exponent. So, in fact, I'm going to start with a y value. How about a negative 1 for y? 2 to the negative 1 is 1/2. So if we reversed it, log base 2 of 1/2 is negative 1. So here at x equals 1/2, y equals negative 1. It's that point right there. We can also do 1/4. Log base 2 of 1/4, that simply means 2 raised to what power is 1/4? Well, this would have to be negative 2. 2 raised to the negative 2. And again, the way negative exponents work, you take the reciprocal of the base. 2 to the negative 2 is 1 over 2 squared, or 1/4. So if we're taking a logarithm of 1/4, log base 2 of 1/4 would be negative 2. So we're getting very close to the y-axis now. And again, this is an asymptote. This is an asymptote. So let me graph this again, just separately. Again, this whole point of this video series is to sketch these graphs. So the graph of this logarithm, y equals log base 2, it's going to hit this point. It's kind of a very important point, which is 1, 0, and the graph goes down like that. That's a very simple picture of this y equals log base 2 of x. And that's it.